Chapter 10, 32, Treasure Yellow Heaven Transports Goo Worms. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Well, have you considered it? You are an external Supreme Elder of Langye sect. You can use your sect contribution points to exchange for the method. Lang Yalen's spirit smiled. Over in Central Continent, He Lulan was forced by Ying Wuxi and had no choice but to submit. Fang Yuan did not know this and was contacting Lang Yalan's spirit. Speaking of the method to counter spring-autumn cicada, Lang Yalan's spirit was indeed formed from long-hair ancestor. He had a deep foundation. In their earlier conversation, Fang Yuan was shocked to find out that Lang Yalan's spirit had more than 10 methods. All of them were effective in dealing with spring-autumn cicada. These methods involve many aspects with so many choices. At this moment, Fang Yuan felt a bit uncertain, but he quickly focused his mind, asking as he thought of something. I have a question. How many sect contribution points do I have? 300. Lang Yalan's spirit hesitated for a moment before answering. 300. Fang Yuan frowned. He knew that he had not done anything for Lang Ya sect yet after joining it. This amount of sect contribution was obtained because he had lent Donghun Mountain, Luopo Valley, and Wisdom Gu to Lang Yalan's spirit. However, either of Donghun Mountain, Luopo Valley, or Wisdom Gu were unparalleled things. They were only worth 300 sect contribution points? Immediately Fang Yuan had some suspicion, but he did not question him. He asked in a roundabout manner, First Supreme Elder, I am not sure how your 300 points were calculated. I would like you to explain for me. Lang Yalan's spirit heard Fang Yuan call him First Supreme Elder and felt very pleased internally. He said frankly, this is very simple. Donghun Mountain counts as 100, Luopo Valley counts as 100, and Wisdom Gu is also 100. Fang Yuan's tone became lower. Wisdom Gu is a rank 9 immortal Gu. Why is it worth the same number as Donghun Mountain and Luopo Valley? No need to be suspicious. Lang Yalan's spirit quickly answered, You lent all 3 of them to the sect, but my Lang Ya sect has to bear the expenditure of the Earth Chi. In the feeding of Wisdom Gu, 300 sect contribution points are given to you according to the rules in the sect. I know that fairness is required for a sect to grow. Don't worry, we will not shortchange whatever is rightfully yours, but we will also not give you extra that you did not earn. After pausing for a while, Lang Yalan's spirit continued. Of course, if you contributed them to the sect, the contribution points would be much higher. It is possible for you to become the first Supreme Elder of the sect as well. Fang Yuan heard this and couldn't help but feel excitement. Becoming the first Supreme Elder of Lang Ya sect, wouldn't he obtain the highest authority? Even if he was not the owner of Lang Ya blessed land, he would be able to mobilize the hairy man Gu immortals inside Lang Ya blessed land, right? But quickly, Lang Yalan's spirit said, But for you to become the first Supreme Elder, you need to get rid of your human status and become a true hairy man. Only an exceptional hairy man can be the leader of the hairy men. Lang Yalan's spirit's tone was full of confidence towards the ideology of hairy man rulership. Fang Yuan dispelled his earlier thoughts. He had no doubt that Lang Yalan's spirit had methods to turn humans into hairy men. But if Fang Yuan became a hairy man, the price was too great. Most fundamentally, the current trend of human dominance could not be overturned. Hairy men and other variant humans, even if they became immortals, would be pushed aside and ostracized. Furthermore, hairy men and the other variant humans were flawed to begin with. They could not become rank 9 venerables. Fang Yuan aspired to reach immortality. Cultivation was only a tool. But evidently, the higher his cultivation level, the closer he would be to this goal. This logic was simple. Between an ant and a tree, which one was closer to eternal life? Fang Yuan only had 300 sect contribution points. Lang Ya, land spirit, calculated the amount very precisely. He did not give Fang Yuan 1 point less or 1 point more. Fang Yuan sensed keenly that these 300 sect contribution points were very precious. They had great value. If he used them wisely, they would be a huge help towards him. Thus, after he thought over it, he did not spend these contribution points rashly to obtain one of the ways to counter spring-autumn cicada. At the other end, Lang Ya land spirit said, Sect contribution points are meant to be used. Don't be too stingy with them. We have many sec missions for you. As long as you complete one, your sec contribution points will increase. Oh, what kinds of missions? Fang Yuan asked lightly. Lang Ya Lan's spirit wanted to make use of Fang Yuan's strength. He naturally explained them to him. Fang Yuan soon shook his head. Disappointment was all over his face. These sect missions were split into two types. One was to collect Gu refinement materials. The other was to spar with the hairy man, Gu immortals, and nurture their fighting skills. Earlier, after Qin Bai Sheng and the rest attacked Lang Ya Blessed Land, Lang Ya Land spirit turned from the shape of a human and white-haired land spirit to a hairy man and black-haired land spirit. The management of Lang Ya Blessed Land had changed drastically. The black-haired land spirit wanted hairy men to be the rulers, the overlords of the Gu world, to trample on humans and all other races. Thus, he tried to train his hairy man, Gu immortals, wanting to raise their battle strength. Before this, these hairy man Gu immortals only knew how to refine Gu. They did not even train normally. Their battle strength could not be said to even be at the dregs. Currently, Fang Yuan did not have the time to help the black-haired land spirits search for Gu refinement materials, or be the nanny of the hairy man Gu immortals. How about this, First Supreme Elder? I lack Gu worms now. Could you buy some southern border Gu worms from Treasure Yellow Heaven and inspect to check that they are not tampered with? If they are fine, send them over to me. Fang Yuan changed the topic, listing his needs. Lang Ya Lan's spirit did not reject this. Batches of Gu worms quickly passed through connecting Heaven Gu via Treasure Yellow Heaven, reaching Fang Yuan's sovereign immortal aperture. The first batch was a large number of mortal Gu, including wine sack flower Gu, rice pouch grass Gu, spring water Gu, eating wind drinking dew Gu, and others. The situation now was different. Earlier, Fang Yuan was an immortal zombie. He did not need to eat. But now that he had revived, his body was alive. He needed to consume food and water. Even Gu immortals would die if they did not eat, unless they had the relevant food path Dao marks. Other than these food path mortal Gu, there was also some clothing Gu. Fang Yuan was not satisfied with fire cape Gu and flying smoke Gu. The effect of the flames was too eye-catching. They were unnecessary. After acquiring these clothing Gu, he immediately changed his clothes. There were also Gu for housing. For example, the woodpath Gu worm, 3-star cave. After it was used, it would turn into a treehouse with space in the trunk. The second batch provided was moving perspective. Cup Gu and Stargate Gu. It was not safe to use Treasure Yellow Heaven. Treasure Yellow Heaven was an open market. It was not a secret channel. Moving perspective Cup Gu used the space door to transport objects. It bypassed the 5 regions' regional walls. It was a superb mortal Gu. Be it the moving perspective Cup Gu recipe or a Stargate Gu recipe, Lang Ya Land Spirit had already obtained them from Fang Yuan. According to the previous Lang Ya Land Spirit's personality, he would have refined a lot of them. Thus, these 2 Gu worms were directly taken out from Lang Ya Blessed Land. Once they entered Treasure Yellow Heaven, the 2 Gu worms shined with bright treasure light. It drew the attention of many Gu immortals. They were mortal Gu, but the treasure light was really very bright. It was out of the ordinary. This special situation drew the attention of many Gu immortals. They went to ask, but Lang Ya Land Spirit rejected them. The third batch was also mortal Gu. They came from Lang Ya Sec's storage. Fang Yuan wanted to use them to test his sovereign immortal aperture. The earlier tests were only observations on the surface. To learn about the secrets of the sovereign immortal aperture, he needed to use Gu worms as tools. The fourth batch was the main objective. Sword Immortal Bo Qing's Sword Path. Immortal Gu. Fang Yuan stole quite a number of immortal Gu from immortal zombie Bo Qing. He used the light of wisdom and wisdom path methods to deceive these immortal Gu temporarily, as he gradually refined them. Before joining the Battle of Yitian Mountain, he only managed to refine Changed Soul Immortal Gu. And during the crucial moment in the Battle of Yitian Mountain, he used it to turn the situation around. Right now, Changed Soul Immortal Gu was still in Fang Yuan's hands. As for the other Sword Path Immortal Gu, they were filled with Bo Qing's will. They were much harder to refine compared to Changed Soul Immortal Gu. They were left inside Hu Immortal Blessed Land and were not brought to Yitian Mountain by Fang Yuan. No, after all, these immortal goo were not refined. They could not be used even if they were brought. As it turned out, it was lucky that Fang Yuan did not bring them. Otherwise, according to what happened, these immortal goo would be left in his body and become Ying Wuxi's property. These Sword Path Immortal Goo were the Rank 8 Wisdom Sword Goo, Rank 7 Sword Escape Goo, Rank 7 Sword Eyebrows Goo, and Rank 7 Flying Sword Goo. Lang Yalan's spirit only sent Sword Escape Immortal Goo and Flying Sword Goo over to Fang Yuan. The two of them made an instant transaction. At the first moment, Fang Yuan used a rock that he picked up to buy Sword Escape Immortal Goo and Flying Sword Goo. The treasure light is hundreds of meters tall. What happened? Transaction of immortal goo. How is this possible? I saw it earlier. Someone bought 2 rank 7 immortal goo immediately. They were so fast that no one could react. Buying 2 rank 7 immortal goo? Heavens, I do not even have a single rank 6 immortal goo. Who is that rich? The earlier few batches of goo worms had already attracted some attention. With this transfer, involving immortal goo, heated discussions were occurring in Treasure Yellow Heaven. The trading of immortal goo was usually done through exchanges of immortal goo. They were rare even in Treasure Yellow Heaven. Thus, Fang Yuan and Lang Yalan Spirit's transaction was like a rock that was thrown into a calm lake. Ripples formed immediately. 2 immortal goo, each having around 300 meters of treasure light, but the other party paid with a rock. A lucky goo immortal who witnessed the transaction transmitted using his divine sense. This information caused more heated discussion between goo immortals again. Impossible! A rock? Are you kidding me? This is not a normal transaction. They are using Treasure Yellow Heaven to transfer goo worms. Even if they are transporting immortal goo, it is very rare. Treasure Yellow Heaven's fee is charged according to the treasure light's height. At once, countless divine senses conversed in Treasure Yellow Heaven. The wills of many goo immortals were engaging in conversation enthusiastically. The commotion was similar to a mortal fish market. Because of Fang Yuan and Lang Ya Land Spirit, the entirety of Treasure Yellow Heaven was in chaos.